Hello friends, today we're going to start our topic equations. First we'll revise some basic concepts from the school. As you know, equations are generally containing three things, that are numbers which are referred as coefficients, then variables which are unknown, and then some of the constant terms. The unknown variables, these are the things which you have to calculate. Now how to solve these equation depends on actually what are the number of unknowns. So here we see, if the equation has only one variable, then the equation itself is sufficient to obtain the value, and if it has two variables, then two equations are required, and if so on, if it is having n variables, then you need n consistent equation to obtain the solution. Now we'll see example of equation having only one unknown. Equation in one variable, these are generally referred as simple equations. An equation of the first degree having one variable such as x is called a linear equation in one variable, and the solution for this is very easy, you know. Now we'll see example of equation set which is having two unknown. Okay, any equation of the first degree having two variables such as x and y is called linear equation in two variables. Generally they are referred as simultaneous equations. The general representation is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, c are real numbers and x, y are variables. Now listen, a is coefficient of x, b is coefficient of y, and c is referred as constant term. Now we'll see how to solve these kind of equations by looking one example. So consider this example, that I'll have to solve this equation. 4x plus 3y is equal to 14 and 3x plus 2y is equal to 11. So the equations are, first equation is 4x plus 3y is equal to 14, and second is, okay, this is first and this is second. The methods to solve these equations is like method of substitution, then method of elimination. Here we'll solve this by method of elimination. You already know this, but we are just revising this concept. Here in method of elimination, you'll have to just eliminate one variable. So to eliminate one variable, either you'll have to add or you'll have to subtract. But since here all the variables are in positive sign, you'll have to subtract. And to eliminate any variable, you should have their coefficient same. So here if you look, suppose you want to eliminate y, so here you can look, the coefficient of y is not same, so you'll have to make these coefficients same. So if you'll multiply the first equation by 2, the y coefficient will become 6, and also if you multiply equation number 2 by 3, then y coefficient will become 6. Now let us see. On multiplying the equation 1 by 2, we are getting this, that is equation 3. Now I'll have to subtract. Okay, in subtracting, sign will get reverse, this will get cancelled. Here minus x will become equal to minus 5, that means x is equal to 5. Now we got the solution of first variable. Now we can put this into any of these equations and we'll get the value of y. Suppose if you want to put this in equation 1, you'll get 4 into 5 plus 3y is equal to 14. So 3y is equal to 14 minus 20. Now y is equal to minus 6 by 3, that means y is equal to minus 2. Now we got the solution. So this is the normal traditional method. I'll show you one shortcut to do the same problem. Okay, now let us consider this example again. Okay, 11. Now if you want to find out the answer, suppose if you want to calculate what is the value of x. Now to calculate the value of x, it's very simple. You just have to look, to find out the x, you have to multiply the coefficient of this y with this constant term, okay, like this, okay. So that is 33 minus this into this, that is 28. So this operation will form the numerator of the answer. Now to find the denominator, again this you have to multiply these two coefficients, that is 9 minus these two coefficients, 4 2s are 8, which is equal to 5 by 1. Now 5. Now you got the value of x. Now you can put this value in any of the above equations and you'll get the value of y. So this is one good shortcut to find out the answer for the simultaneous equations. Now we'll see some word problems. In equation you'll have to keep a very important and very important point in mind, that generally the equation questions comes in word problems, okay. So you should have that ability that you convert those word problem into equations, okay. Let us take a very simple example, that is divide 100 into two parts such that the first part is 4 times the second part. Now the solution will start. First we'll have to assume, so let us assume that the first part is x, then second part is equal to 4x, okay. Now if you'll add this, x plus 4x is equal to 100. Now 5x is equal to 100, x is equal to 20. Therefore one part is 20 and other part is 4x, that is 80. So just you'll have to focus that how to convert those word problem into equation, then it is very easy to solve. Now we'll see some special conditions in which we can get no solution at all for two simultaneous equations, or we can get infinite solutions. So these conditions are, suppose if you are considering two equations, take the coefficient of x as a1, b1 and the constant term c1, and in the second equation coefficient of x is a2 and coefficient of y is b2 and constant term is c2. So if you are getting that a1 upon a2 does not equal to b1 upon b2, then you will get the unique solution. And if all the ratios of terms, like ratio of coefficient of x is equal to ratio of coefficient of y, and that is in turn equal to ratios of constant term, if this happens, then you will get infinite solution for that equation, because they both represent a same line with a different coefficient only. The representation is different but line is same. Now third one, when you have parallel lines, in parallel lines they will never cross each other, and I think you know that if you have two equations and if you will represent those two equations on a graph, then the solution to those two equations is a intersection point of those two equations, and that if you will find out the coordinates of those that intersection point, you will get the solution. But if you have two parallel lines now, then you'll get the ratios of x and ratios of y. The coefficient of x and coefficient of y will be same, but the ratio of constant term will differ. So if there is a case when you get a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2, which in turn does not equal to c1 upon c2, then you'll have to know that these two equations represents two parallel lines, and two parallel lines will never intersect, and that's why we'll have no solution. We cannot get a solution for those two simultaneous equations. Now we'll see one example. You can say one application of this thing. This example is for what values of k will the following pair of linear equation have infinitely many solutions. The equation is given plus kx plus ky minus k minus 3 is equal to 0 and 12x plus ky minus k is equal to 0. Now if it is given that it is having infinitely many solutions, then we know that a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 and c1 upon c2. Okay, all three ratios will be equal. So if we will find a1 upon a2, that is k upon 12, b1 upon b2, that is 3 upon k, and c1 upon c2 is k minus 3 upon k. Here the both minus sign has got cancelled. Okay, now you know this condition. Okay, now we'll put these three values according to these three conditions, and now we'll solve by taking two pairs. Okay, now we'll take this first. This will give k square is equal to 36, that is k is equal to plus or minus 6. Okay, now we'll take these two. So this will give k as 0 or k as 6. So if we'll compare, here you'll get plus 6 minus 6, here 0 and plus 6. Then the common solution to the both the options is plus 6. So the value of k for these linear pair of equation is 6, for which the solutions will get is infinite. Now we'll see the next type of equation, that is quadratic equation. Quadratic expressions, the standard form is ax square plus bx plus c, where a should not be equal to 0. Why? If a becomes 0, then this whole term will become 0, and the remaining part of the equation, remaining part of expression will become a linear equation in one variable. Okay, here ax square is called as quadratic term, and a is coefficient of x square. Bx is called linear term, where b is the coefficient of x, and c is called constant term. So now we'll take one example, and I think you all remember how to solve this equation. Suppose this is an example: 2x square minus 9x plus minus 9x minus 35 is 0, where the coefficient of x square, that is a, is 2, coefficient of x, that is b, is equal to minus 9, and constant term is minus 35. So you'll have to solve it, you'll have to factorize it, and after factorization you will have to set each factor as 0. Okay, and you'll get two values of x, and the solution set will be like this. This is the traditional method, and we can have our very simple method also. You can say it's not a method, it's, you can say this is a shortcut. Okay, we'll see that shortcut. Okay, the given equation was 2x square minus 9x minus 35 is equal to 0. Now this is a simpler technique and faster technique. Okay, the first step is that you'll have to multiply the constant term with coefficient of x square, that is a. So you'll get minus 70. Okay, now you have to factorize it, so that on adding those two factors you will get answer as coefficient of x, that is minus 9. Okay, so the factors are very simple: minus 14 and 5. This is first step. Okay, now second step, if you have any coefficient in x square, that is a, if you have the value of a more than 1 or different than 1, then you'll have to divide these two values by that coefficient. If you don't have, suppose you have only x square, then you can skip this step. Okay, but here the value of x square, the coefficient of x square is 2. So I'll divide these two by 2. Okay, so I'll get minus 7 by 2 and 5 by minus 7 and 5 by 2. Okay, the third step is just to reverse the sign. Minus 7 will become 7 and plus by 5 2 will become minus 5 by 2. So this is the solution set. This is only the faster way. Okay, the same thing we are doing in that also, but this is just a simpler and faster way. Now we'll see one more example. Suppose x is equal to x into x minus 14 is equal to 0, and then you'll have to treat x as one factor and x minus 14 as other factor. So one value will become x is equal to 0 and x minus 14 equals 0. Then the answer will be, and the solution will become 0 and 14. Now there is one important point. Sometimes what it happens, to find out the two factors of that middle term, it is a difficult task sometimes. Okay, in some equation it is not very easy. So if you are if you are getting such kind of equation, just directly you can use one formula for that. Okay, the formula is that for the first root, that is we can take the notation as alpha is minus b plus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and beta minus b minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. The difference is only this sign, plus and the minus sign. And you know that these ABC are coefficients and constant terms of the quadratic expression. Now we'll see some very important point about these roots. Okay, as we have taken alpha and beta, the two roots, then sum of the roots, okay, the addition of the roots, if you can find out by minus b by a. Okay, that is coefficient of x and upon coefficient of x square. And if you want to find the product of roots, that is alpha into beta, you can find out by c upon a. Now there is also very interesting formula. Suppose you know the roots, and if you find out the equation, you can do that. Okay, because any equation can be represented like this: x square minus sum of the roots and the product of the roots. We'll see some example by to use this formula. Okay, this example: find the equation whose roots are 3 and 4. Then we know the sum of the roots are 7 and product of root is 12. Then I can directly write the equation is x square minus 7x plus 12. Now we will see a little more difficult example. If the sum of the root of a quadratic equation is 3 and sum of the squares is 29, find the equation. Now here sum is given and the squares are given. So the first thing you'll have to find the product of the roots. So you know that this is basic equation: alpha plus beta square is equal to alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. Now if we'll put the values, you will get the value of alpha beta. Now you got the value of alpha beta as minus 10, and already you have the sum of the product, sum of the roots, that is 3. So the equation will become this. So I think now you all are clear that how to find the equation from the given roots. So friends, now I think you all are clear with the concepts, basic concepts. Now we'll see the examples. We'll take questions from the papers to solve. Before solving these questions, I'll just say you some things that in exam they have asked many times the question based on equations, and what they have done, they have always asked the questions which are word problems. Okay, now the ability is that only that you have to convert those word problem into equations, then and then only you can solve those problems. Some of the problems are very easy and some of the problems are little complicated. Okay, we'll see how to solve those problems by traditional method also, and if we can find out a shortcut, or can we go by the options, then we'll also look at those things. We'll start with the first, that is the question asked in 2011 paper. A transporter receives the same number of orders each day. Currently, he has some pending orders backlog to be shipped. If he uses 7 trucks, then at the end of the 4th day, he can clear all the orders. Alternately, if he uses only 3 trucks, then all the orders are clear at the end of 10th day. What is the minimum number of trucks required so that there will be no pending orders at the end of the 5th day? Okay. So, if you start solving, you can see 7 trucks, 4 days. So you can generalize that if there are 7 trucks and he is delivering in all 4 day, the number of times trucks has gone for the delivery is 7 into 4, that is 28. That means there are 28 orders. Okay, so we'll see the solution. The solution is, if he has 7 truck daily for 4 days, then total number of orders 7 into 4 is equal to 28. And when he is using 3 trucks, so suppose if he uses 3 trucks, then in 9 days the number of orders completed is 27. So for that 28th order, he'll have to operate on 10th day also. So he is delivering that 28th order on the 10th day. Now it is clear that there is total 28 number of orders. So if you want to deliver those in 5 days, so you have that much number of trucks, which when multiplying with 5 will give an answer near to 28. So if you multiply 5 by 5, you'll get 25. Then having 5 truck will not suffice your purpose. So you should have more than that. So if you'll have 6 trucks, then 6 into 5, that is 30. That means on the 6th day you can complete this order. So this was a very simple example. Sometimes if you don't convert these into numbers from the words, you'll find it difficult. Okay, so this is a very simple example. Now we'll see second question, which was asked in 2010. It is question of 4 siblings: Hari, Geeta, Irfan and Saira. All were born on 1st January. The age difference between any 2 successive siblings that is born one after other is less than 3 years. Less than 3 years means it will be 1 year or 2 year. Okay. Why there is no 0? Because here in the third point it is written that there are no twins. Okay. Then here they have given some facts that Hari plus Geeta is greater than Irfan plus Saira. There is one important point in the question is given, that is the age difference between Geeta and Saira is 1 year. However, Geeta is not the oldest and Saira is not the youngest. Okay. So by these information I will have to solve this, and what they have asked, in the what order were they born, oldest first. Okay, so now we'll see the solution. Okay, from the first point is given H plus G is greater than I plus S. Now the age difference between Geeta and Saira, we don't know who is older, so I have written a modulus of G minus S is equal to 1. Okay, meaning G and S will next to each other in the order. Okay, whether it is GS or SG. So if you look at the option 1, option 1 does not have that thing, so you can definitely discard this. You can definitely rule out this option. Okay, now we have 3 options only. The difference between age of any 2 consecutive sibling is either 1 or 2. Okay, that means less than 3 years and no twins. So if you combine the first and this third, what I mean by combining, that means you can think of some options. Okay, for example, you can take one age as 1 year, then you can have the other age as 2, 3, 4, and in this way you can have some options for the ages of different brothers and sisters. Okay, so in all that thing you'll get that these from I plus S, from I plus S there should be one person who is youngest. Okay, so but in the above information it is given that Saira is not youngest, so you'll have to take that Irfan is youngest. Okay, now if you look at the options, the B option, in B option Irfan is shown as youngest, so you can directly write the answer as B. Well, now we'll look at the third question, which was asked in 2011. This is one paragraph about 3 friends. who are sharing some toffee from a ball. Okay, so it is written what they have done. Finally, in the ball there are only 70 toffees left. So how many toffees were originally there in the bowl? We'll solve this problem by traditional method also. Okay, traditional method is a bit complex, and we'll see one shortcut also how to solve this problem. Okay, the solution is this. Okay, the first step. Okay, the R has taken 1/3 of the chocolate, then returned 4, and remaining is this. Then S 1/4 of the remaining, and then returned 3 chocolates. Then in the bowl remaining is this. Then T second half of the remaining and return 2 chocolate. Then you get remaining this. Then you'll have to compare this one with 17, because it is given that after all this operation there are 17 toffees in the bowl. So you'll get your answer as 48. Hence the answer is C. But I have a better and shortcut way to find out this. Okay, the first step is itself says that R took 1/3 of the toffees. Okay, that means in the bowl the number of toffees should be a multiple of 3. Okay, so if you look at the option, there is only one option which is multiple of 3, that is 48. So you can directly take the answer as 48. No need to solve all this. Okay, so that's why I told in starting also that you can solve the question by looking at the options also. Okay, don't just go by the traditional method. Okay, just read the question carefully and look at the options carefully. Okay, if you have something in the options, if you can go by the option, then you should prefer that step. Okay, so now the next question is, which was asked in 2012. Raju has 14 currency notes in his pocket. Consider only rupees 10 notes and rupees 20 notes. The total money value of the notes is rupees 230. So if you can directly assume that 20 rupees note is X, 10 rupees note is Y. So the total number is 14. The first equation will be this: X plus Y is equal to 14. Now what we are doing here, we are converting the word problem into equation. Okay. The next is that total amount is 230. That means 20x plus 10y equal to 230. So if you'll solve this, you'll get x y as 5, and the question itself asks the number of 10 rupees notes, that is y. Then you can directly write, since y is 5, you can directly write answer as A. Now we'll see a next problem, which is asked in 2011. A student attempted to solve a quadratic equation in x twice. However, in the first attempt, he incorrectly wrote the constant term, that is C. Okay, and he found the root 4 and 3. In the second attempt, he incorrectly wrote the coefficient of x, that is B, wrong. Okay, so the answer was 3/2. So based on about about 2 information, you have to find the correct quadratic equation. So in the first attempt, if he has taken the constant term wrong, then the sum of the roots, that is alpha plus beta, which is equal to minus b by a, will be right. Anyhow it will be right. Okay, because their mistake is in constant term. So we can solve this by this. The case 1, constant term C is wrong, then alpha is 4 and beta is 3. Then sum of the root, which is b minus b by a, is 7. Because you have 4 3, you can directly find 7. Now in the second case, what has happened, the coefficient of x, that is b, is wrong. Okay, then the root is 3 2, so that means product of root in which b is not there is right. 3 into 2 is equal to 6. Now the sum of the roots is 7 and product of the root is 6. So you can form the equation. The new equation is x square minus sum of the roots plus product of the roots, which is equal to x square minus 7x plus 6 equal to 0. So the roots are 6 and 1. You can solve this by any of the techniques which I have told you earlier. Okay, so option C is the right option. So now we'll see next example, which was asked in 2011. Three sister RST receives a total of 24 toys during Christmas. The toys are initially divided among them in certain proportion. Okay, we don't know that proportion. Then there are a few things happens. R gave some toys to S, which doubled the share of S. Then S in turn gave some of her toys to T, which doubled T's share. Next, some of T's toys were given to R, which doubled the number of toys and R currently had. As a result of all such exchange, the three sisters were left with equal number of toys. If you look at this equation, it seems that it is very complex to form the equation, but you'll have to use your mind over here. Your this thing which is given, the three sisters were left with equal number toys. You can start this problem in reverse order. Okay, I'll show you how. I'll solve this equation. I'll solve this problem in the reverse order. We know that step 1, R gave some toys to S, which doubled the share of S. S gave some of her toys to T, which doubled T's share. T gave some of her toys to R, which doubled the R's shares. Finally, each sister left with the equal number of toys. Okay, so since the total number of toys is 24, the final is 888. Now we'll go in reverse order. Okay, what is step 3? T gave some of her toys to R, which double R shares. That means R initially had 4 and T had 12. And in this step, S remains unchanged. Now step 2. S gave some of her toys to T, which doubled T's shares. That means initially T was having 6 and X was having 14. In this steps, R remain unchanged. R gave some toys to S, which doubled the share of S. That means initially S was 7 and R was 11, and in this step T remain unchanged. Now you can see in the first step, R is having 11 toys, S is having 7, and T is having 6 toys. So the question was, how many toys did R have originally? The answer is C, that is 11. Now we'll see next example, next problem which was asked in the exam, that is in 2010. A student is answering a multiple choice exam with 65 questions with a marking scheme as follows. That is 1 for each correct answer, -1/4 for wrong, and -1/8 for a question that has not been attempted. If the student gets 37 marks in the test, then the least possible number of questions the student has not answered is, okay, and the options are 4, 7, 5, 6. That means least number is 4 only. Okay, so I'll solve this equation. Let us assume let the number of questions correct is X, wrong is Y, and not attempted is Z. Okay, so according to the data, the total number of question is 65. This is our first equation. Next, the data is this. Okay, so this is the second. Now we'll solve this to eliminate X. So you'll get 5y/4 plus 9z/8 is equal to 28, which in turn equals to 10y plus 9z/8 is equal to 28. So 10y plus 9z is equal to 224. Now you need to find it the minimum possible value of z, okay, so that this equation is true. So minimum possible, you can take start from 0, but you 0, then take 1, but you no need to solve from 0. Okay, you can start from the options also. The minimum, the option minimum option was given is 4, then 5, then 6, 7. Okay, you can go by options also. Suppose you put 4, so 9 4s are is 36. Okay, then you find out the value of y. So the value of y and z should be a whole number, because number of problem cannot be in fraction. Okay, so you can solve by options also, no issues in that. But if you look at the equation carefully, you can see the coefficient of y is 10. Okay, that means the unit digit of this term will be 0, and the coefficient of z is 9. That means the unit digit of answer, which is 4, should come from this term. That means you have to think one term for z, one number for z, which when multiplying with 9 will give a unit digit as 4. So the minimum option was 4, 9 4s are 36, no. Then 5, 9 5s are 45, no. Then 6, 9 6 are 54. So 9 6 are 54. That means the value of z is 6. So if you'll put that also to cross check, you'll get y as 17. So you are getting y also as a whole number. That means the value, the minimum possible value for z for the equation to be correct is 6. Therefore your answer is A, that is 6. So friends, we have seen different questions. Generally you may have now got to know that all the equations, the problems are word problems, so you have to think, you'll have to convert those word problem into equations, unless it is directly given in the equation. So just focus that how you'll convert those equation, those word problem into equation, and then you can easily solve. And also please look at the options also. If you can get the direct answer from the options, you should do that, okay, to save your time. Okay.